Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got this particular storyline that I want to tell you about a rogue judge out of Oklahoma that is encased and involved and has been alleged to be involved in two shooting incidences in two separate states, Oklahoma and Texas, which makes you wonder, is he the appropriate person mentally to be fit to be a sitting and presiding judge in Oklahoma while he has these personal allegations that are taking place that involve a gun and shootings at his brother-in-law's house and with an alleged pedestrian. So let's see what it says. Judge Lovell arraigned on charges related to drive-by shooting. Garfield County Associate District Judge out of Enid, Oklahoma, Judge Brian Lovell was arraigned Friday morning, May 10th, 2024, on charges related to a February 2023 drive-by shooting at the home of his brother-in-law near the town of Bison. Judge Lovell did not enter a plea on that Friday, so the court entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. Judge Lovell's attorney, Stephen Jones, filed a demand for a preliminary hearing, and the court set the hearing for 9 a.m. August 30th. Comanche County District Judge Grant Shepard presiding at the hearing. Judge Lovell's bond was set at $25,000 with three conditions: that Lovell not possess any firearms, that he not live where there are firearms, and that he may not have any contact with his brother-in-law, Kenneth Marks, Courtney Marks, or Jacob Marks. The state was represented by Ricky Lutz, Assistant Attorney General for the Oklahoma Attorney General's Office. Judge Lovell was indicted. Now listen to this story, follow it. Judge Lovell was indicted by a multi-county grand jury on one felony count of use of a vehicle to facilitate the discharge of a firearm and an alternate felony count of discharging a firearm into a dwelling. So he shot a firearm at a car, and he shot in one state, and then he shot his firearm allegedly at his brother-in-law's house. The indictment alleges on February 12, 2023, Judge Lovell fired a gun at the residence of his brother-in-law in Bison, and 2 days after the shooting, reported a firearm was stolen from his vehicle. So that is his story, and his excuse is that his firearm was stolen and somebody else did the shooting, not him. He reported his firearm stolen or missing after the shooting that took place at his brother-in-law's house. Punishment for the crimes is no less than 2 years in prison, according to the indictment. Judge Lovell, 59, also faces 8 felony counts of deadly conduct, which is discharge of a firearm for a similar incident in Austin, Texas. So that original one with his brother-in-law took place in Bison, Oklahoma. And now he had another incident in Austin, Texas on September the 11th, 2023. Investigators allege he used the same gun, a Glock 23 .40 caliber, in both the Texas and Oklahoma shootings. No one was injured in the shootings. A pre-trial hearing for Judge Lovell is scheduled in Texas for 9/15 on June 18th of this year. Garfield County District Judge Paul Woodward, presiding administrative judge, has said previously that Judge Lovell agreed not to preside over any cases until his own case is resolved. Judge Lovell, a Wakamis native, was appointed special district judge in 2011 and elected associate district judge in January 2023. Jones said in a statement Thursday that the indictment was announced that the evidence is insufficient to convince a jury that Lovell committed any crime. He will ultimately plead not guilty to the indictment, Attorney Jones said. As far as the merits of the charge and the defense, we do not at this time have the discovery material which is in due course will be made available to us. From our own investigation, the evidence is insufficient to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the standard, that he has committed any offense. We intend to defend the case vigorously, and during the course of the investigation, the judge and Mrs. Lovell have cooperated fully. So let's talk about the Oklahoma case. Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation investigated the Bison shooting. OSBI linked shell casings found at the scene of the Austin shooting to shell casings found in the Bison shooting, according to the November 2023 story by the Oklahoman. In a search warrant affidavit filed November 1st, OSBI Special Agent Kevin Woodward said the shell casings were a match. The affidavit also detailed cell phone data OSBI was able to obtain that showed Judge Lovell's whereabouts on February 12th, according to the Oklahoman. The data showed Judge Lovell was near his church in Enid, then near several restaurants before it showed later he headed to Wakamis, where he lives. The shooting at the ranch happened before 3 p.m. that day. Jones told the Oklahoman in November that the records showed the judge's innocence because his cell phone was not shown to be around his brother-in-law's ranch. Attorney Jones also said other experts might dispute the determination of the shell casings. Jones announced on October 19th he would be representing Judge Lovell in Oklahoma's legal proceedings. In October 2023, Garfield County Sheriff's Office confirmed authorities were investigating a report of a pistol stolen from Judge Lovell's vehicle. Under Sheriff Ryan Fuchsa said OSBI was helping with the stolen pistol incident, which was filed with the Sheriff's Office February 14, 2023. The report was made 2 days after the drive-by shooting at the ranch of Kenneth Marks, Judge Lovell's brother-in-law. Marks reported someone fired at least 5 times at his home on February 12, 2023, damaging a window, a wall, and an oven, according to the Garfield County Sheriff's Office report. A bullet and 5 .40 caliber shell casings were recovered. 2 days later, Judge Lovell reported at Garfield County Courthouse that a .40 caliber pistol had been stolen from his pickup truck between January 28th and February 11th. The multi-county grand jury called 6 witnesses according to the indictment. They were Richard Brown and Taryn Wade, OSBI, Mark Vargas, Garfield County Sheriff's Office, Robert Cottrell, Oklahoma Highway Patrol, and Stephen Aston and Aaron Trujo of Austin, Texas Police Department. That's in the Oklahoma case. Now, in the Texas case, this is a second case. A grand jury in Texas indicted Judge Lovell on 8 felony counts of deadly conduct, discharge of a firearm related to the incident from September 11, 2023. The indictment was handed down February 29, 2024, according to Travis County, Texas, online court records. Bond was set at $10,000. Judge Lovell has retained Austin, Texas attorney Perry Quillen Minton to represent him in that case. Judge Lovell, 58, is also facing a misdemeanor charge of reckless driving in a related case in Texas. According to an affidavit filed in the case, Austin Police Department responded to a call of shots fired at the intersection of Matamoros and Santa Maria Streets in Austin about 4:09 September the 11th, 2023. A citizen reported a white male driving a white sports utility vehicle had discharged a firearm approximately 5 times while driving down the street. Responding officers found several vehicles with projectile defects in them, according to the affidavit. The owner of one vehicle gave police permission to search the vehicle, and a projectile was recovered from the interior of the passenger side door. Curran stated he observed 5 other vehicles believed to have been shot in the immediate area. 5 vehicles. 340 caliber shell casings were recovered at the scene. Officers reviewed video recordings of a white SUV driving down the street as shots were heard in the videos, according to the affidavit. One witness described the driver as a white male wearing a baseball-style hat and gray shirt. While officers were investigating that incident, police received another call at 5:27 p.m. of a traffic accident about 1.7 miles from where the shots were fired. One of the vehicles involved in the collision was a white Toyota Highlander SUV with an Oklahoma license plate, according to the affidavit. This SUV was driven by a white male wearing a baseball-style hat and a gray shirt who was identified as Judge Brian Noel Lovell by his own Oklahoma driver's license. While speaking with Judge Lovell, officers observed in plain view a firearm magazine in the driver's side door pocket of Lovell's SUV and a black firearm in the front passenger floorboard of Lovell's SUV, the affidavit states. Judge Lovell advised he did not know why he would have shot his gun. That's his excuse. And he could not recall any part of the shooting incident, the affidavit states. Lovell stated there is a Glock 23 .40 caliber firearm and a Smith & Wesson MP 380 firearm in the vehicle as well. According to interviews with the witness and the victims of the collision, it is believed that Judge Lovell intentionally struck the other vehicle involved in the collision and engaged in a verbal argument with the other driver. The victim told police Lovell struck her car and then struck it a second time after he had come to a stop at the intersection, the affidavit states. Lovell told police the other driver cut him off in traffic and he rear-ended her vehicle, the affidavit states. He also recalled rear-ending the vehicle a second time, but he did not admit the collisions were intentional. What an incredible story. What is going on with this judge if any of these allegations are true? Now, it is very interesting. And when you're a lawyer or a judge and they're being questioned by police or anybody else, it's amazing how they can make a play on words. Lawyers have been trained to do that. Each and every word has a particular place and meaning. Now, if you listen to this story, he remembers bumping into the car of this woman on 2 occasions, but he has no memory of releasing and firing off his gun at that particular citizen. That's astonishing. He has some memory and recollection of the incident involving the car and this woman in Texas, but he has no recollection of firing off his gun, and he was found to have 2 guns in his car at the time. And as we all know, Texas is probably the premier state for NRA rights, carrying guns, open carry, the whole 9 yards. And there are tons of shootings that take place in Texas. The United States of America incarcerates more people than any other country in the world, and we also have more guns on the street than anyone in the world. And this high propensity of gun violence is taking place with the everyday common criminal and with some of our professional people is just absurd, and we're losing the health and wealth of our public safety in many of our cities and states each and every day. There are way too many guns on the street. It's way too easy to get a gun. It's harder to go get a job, to get admission to college, to join the military, versus you being 21 years old, and some states 18 years old, to even get a gun. And what is the intent for many of these individuals with guns? It should be to protect your place and your property and your family. But there's so many guns on the street that there are altercations that are taking place each and every day. I personally, when I'm going in and out of public places, stores, malls, I don't engage anyone outside of high and by and keep it moving. I'm in the state of Missouri, which is an open carry state. You don't have to have a certain certification or license for it, and there are guns everywhere. Now, back to this situation with Judge Lovell. He is presiding and is representing the judicial system as a judge, which is the highest title you can have in the legal community. And if he is personally going out and allegedly shooting up his brother-in-law's house in Oklahoma, and then shooting at passengers and drivers in the state of Texas, I don't think that he's capable to be a presiding judge over cases that are coming to his court. If he has mental issues, anger issues, if he has a rush to judgment, he's in a position where he can, with the power of the pen, make a judgment or a statement or a conclusion that could take someone's freedom forever. We in America place a lot of burden, and we give a lot of praise to people that have high degrees: doctors, lawyers, PhDs, police chiefs, police officers, teachers, and in the entertainment business. But what we fail to remember is that they're just human beings. You can be book smart, but you still can end up doing something that could be dangerous to themselves, to their family, or to other citizens. Managing stress, anxiety, your anger is something that has to be mediated and leveled off, especially if you're a professional person, 59 years old, you've raised children, you've been married a long time. You should know better when you look in the mirror to know the difference between right and wrong. And if you're a presiding judge, when you're making a determination over many individuals' rights, freedoms, and justification for the rulings that you make as a judge, your personal life has to be paralleled with your professional life. There should be a symbiotic union. You cannot have a disruptive, chaotic personal life, and then every morning you put on that judge's robe to preside and to make determinations over individuals' freedoms. This man in his personal life is a reflection of probably what he's done in his personal life, and he should be taken off the bench while these two cases are being reviewed, and now he's been indicted on these shooting allegations. If this does not get under control and Judge Lovell is not reeled in, what do you think the next circumstance will be? We will be reading in reports that Judge Lovell has shot and killed somebody. So him being taken off the bench, being arraigned and arrested for these allegations, maybe that'll give him a temperament to think about, self-reflect, and get help with whatever is going on inside his soul, his heart, and his mind, to get him back on the right course. And hopefully he can go back to being a judge and being of sound mind, body, and soul. But right now, there's every indication, if these allegations are true, that Judge Lovell needs to be removed from the bench. He needs to face his personal demons, and he needs to get his life in some kind of order, whether it's psychological treatment. Mental health is a real issue. Stress and anxiety are real. Conflict mediation, conflict resolution, and talking things out is a much better way for a civil in conscientious society versus when you have a disagreement or things take place that your reaction is to harm somebody, let alone pull a gun out and shoot them. Tell me what you think about this story on Judge Lovell having these two shooting incidences, one in Oklahoma with his brother-in-law and the other one with a driver and a car rage road incident in Texas. What do you think about it? Let's try to manifest our truth in the right direction. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience.